mission to EPP, copy that, and initiating a full 10-4-4.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength, not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory, we give you peace, we give you honor, we give you blessing, we give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you, the fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty, it's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes, You O Cubed. What does O Cubed stand for? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this fine day. Today is Tuesday, you all. Can you believe it? It's Tuesday, May the 17th in the year 2022. Oh my goodness, it is a dear, dear mint mentor of mine's birthday. I want to give a special shout out to Sister Linda Cofield, the director of the Kansas East State Choir, 50 years strong in that position for the church. And she really had a tremendous hand in so many things in my life. I just want to give her a shout out this morning. I know she's not on here, but that's okay. Sending that energy out to her. Linda Cofield, happy birthday to you today, dear. And it's a beautiful day to be alive. Now, we want to keep this party crack-a-lacking and get this party started. I'm so glad for everybody that's in here today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know how we get it started. We like to go and see who got in the VIP section with Grandpa Holmes's chair. And listen, let's go ahead and get that started. I appreciate all of those that come in bright and early. Yes, I told you they come bringing love, soul, peace, and happiness into the Lion's Den, and they bring it early to make sure it's waiting on you when you get here. Now, I want to appreciate the third person in the Lion's Den this morning. And yes, go ahead and get on that love seat and rest yourself this morning. None other than Miss Fabulous. Miss Fabulous, also known as Mel Holiday. Come on, come on, come on. Go ahead and get your lips, hips, and your fingertips on that love seat. Now, 12 o'clock in the a.m., she was just a few milliseconds off, but 12 o'clock in the a.m., our actually first runner up and the second person to get in the Lion's Den was none other than Two Tambourines. Yes, Two Tambourines, you did that. Also known as MCP 812. Come through, come through, come through. There she is with her beautiful self. And yes, honey, she comes with a double dose. That's it. She comes with a double dose. She comes into the second power. Yes, exponentially. That's my girl. But at the end of the day, the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair is none other than I just looked over and saw Rebel of the Holy Ghost. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, the Holy Ghost. Listen, I want to go back and do this and set it up once more time for the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. BTD Mom. BTD Mom, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair, otherwise known as Anita Harvey. Come on in here, sis. Come on in here. I'm so appreciative of you. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Put your lips, your hips, and your fingertips. Come on over and choose your seat and sit down. Congratulations to you. And I appreciate you for coming in. I told you they were both in here at 12 o'clock sharp. Oh, but she beat everybody to that chair. And I appreciate you, BTD Mom. So much love coming out to you, going out to you, going out to you. You are just fabulous. BTD Mom, Anita Harvey, we love you here in the Lion's Den. Now, you know where we go from here. Go ahead and get that mod love going. Get that mod love going because we got them in here, y'all. Shelly Thunder, that's my girl. You know, I call her the prophetess. Yes, up above my head, I hear thunder in the air, and I know that there's a Shelly Thunder somewhere. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Shelly Thunder. She is one of our awesome moderators here in the Lion's Den. I appreciate her. Followed up by the leader of the pack. Yes, I heard somebody call her name this morning. The Galactic Supervisor. She is here, otherwise known as the Rebel. The Rebel Inc. is here, and she takes such good care of us. Stay tuned because we're going to be going to her channel immediately following this stream. We're going to raid right on into the Rebel Inc. this morning. And I think it might be anti-bangos or something like that going on this morning. I'm not sure, but I think it might be something like that. And then, of course, we got the third part of the Trinity, Michelle Brownell. Yes, that's my quiet storm. I appreciate her, as I say, because she changes the environment and the atmosphere just by walking in the room. Those three beautiful ladies right there, the Blessed Trinity, those are the moderators here in the Lion's Den, and I appreciate every last one of them, y'all. I appreciate every last one of them. Now, I want to acknowledge that we've got some things coming on this week. Thank you for that, Mod Love. Give it up to them because they are truly deserving. Now, I just want to do a quick promo because on this Sunday, yes, this Sunday, y'all, at 6 o'clock p.m., Susan Fairley will be here. Yes, we know her as Fairley all day. I love this sister. She is just magnificent. She is an Emmy winner. She had Grammy nods. Her whole essence is in her editing, studio recording, engineering, law, and contracts. This woman is a powerhouse all by herself. I want to invite you to come back Sunday at 6 o'clock and bring somebody with you when you come. Don't come alone, but bring somebody with you because we're just going to turn Susan Fairley, otherwise known as Fairley all day. We're just going to turn her loose. And I promise you, she is a storehouse of knowledge, wisdom, experience, and any other positive things you want to fill in the blank. That's Fairley all day. She's going to be releasing her boss energy in the Lion's Den this Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. with Yes You and Friends. Please be there with us. Now, we're going to keep on rolling and we're going to keep on rocking. Now, I do want to say this week I am going to miss a couple of days because I'll be traveling. But on Friday, we will still have Good Grief here in the house. I'll be out, but Good Grief will be here. I'll be out, I believe, Thursday and Friday. I will be here Wednesday. I will be here tomorrow. But Thursday and Friday, I'll be traveling. So I'll be out of pocket. However, Crazy Berry Town, Kim Possible 7-Eleven, Good Grief will be held at 12 noon. So you don't want to miss that session. And I'm telling you, those sessions just get more and more powerful. I promise you, you don't want to miss that. So don't be confused, even though you're going to see me out of pocket Thursday and Friday. Once more and again, Good Grief will be here with Crazy Berry Town and Kim Possible. And I appreciate you all. And then we'll be back on regular schedule on Sunday. I'll just miss a couple of days and then I'll be flying right back home. All right, now let's get this party crack-a-lack and let's get this party started. I just wanted to get those announcements out of the way. And as the old folks used to say at church, all hearts and minds are clear. That means we're ready to go and we're going to move on to something else. Now, you know how we do it over here. Go ahead and get those coffee cups out. Get those coffee cups out. Get those coffee cups out. Because I always like to come through and have a little conversation with you. And the first thing we do is say good morning to everybody. As my mother said, if you come in the room, speak to somebody. So I want to say good morning to each and every last one of you. The Rebel Inc., I see you, dear. Stacy 546, I see you. Come through. I love you, sis. I see you. Go Ratty is in the room. My God, I love this brother. Yes, it seems like I've known him all my life. I just love you, man. I see you. Come on in the room. Thank you for being here on this morning. The Gift, Nathan Lamont is in the room. That's my squalling baby. Come on in here, child. I love you so much. Now, coming on down, and the evangelist Kai Chick is in the room. She may be lurking and working, but she's here. And I appreciate you for roaring in the Lion's Den. I'm telling you, I love you. I love you. I love you. Coming on down, and I'm looking and booking at BTD Mom. Yes, come on, girl. Get your coffee cup out. I see you. So much love coming to you. Tall Pumps is pumping tall. Good morning to you, sis. Yes, she is a force to be reckoned with. I love you. I love you. I love you. Crazy Berry Town. She's here, y'all. She's here in the room. Good morning to you, and I see you. She is a streamer, and if you're not following her, I want to encourage you to follow her. And on this fine day, midday, she's going to be taking us into Zumba. So if you are ready to get your body into shape, please meet Crazy Berrytown today. Clarify, I think it's 12:30. I believe it's 12:30 Eastern time. But if I'm off on that time, please correct me. I do know it's a midday session that she's doing on today. And then on Thursday at 9:30, I will be out of pocket. I don't know. You might get surprised if the Rebel Inc. decides to do a pop-up. I don't know. But at any rate, on Thursday, I believe it's going to be 9:30 Eastern time. Even those of you that are in the Lion's Den, I will not be streaming, but please at 9:30, y'all, flood the gates, flood the doors of Crazy Berrytown on Thursday at 9:30. Even though I'm not here, please don't miss her on Thursday. But today at noontime, y'all hook up with her. Now, coming on down, and I'm looking to see who else is here. I appreciate every last one of you that are in the Lion's Den. Main Man 68 is my guy. I love you so much. Special prayers going out to my brother, and I appreciate him for being in the Lion's Den this morning. Healing is the children's bread, and I appreciate God for it on today. I love you, man. I just absolutely positively love you. Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. Coming on down, and I'm looking, James Sims is in the room this morning. And I appreciate him. This is Truck Driver for many of you that don't know that other name, but he's coming in to us today. It looks like through YouTube. That is my brother, and I appreciate him. I absolutely positively do. I see you. That's my Mufasa, and the Lion King is in the room. Come through. Come on in here. MCP 812 is in the room, y'all. 2 tambourines. I love you so much. Come on up in here. So glad to have you. Joanna G98, she's in the room, y'all. She's in the room, and I appreciate you for being here on this morning. I'm coming on down, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. I love you. I love you. I love you. You guys are the best. No, there will not be. Thank you for saying that. There will not be Institute for Higher Consciousness on Saturday. Thank you for catching me on that, because that, beloved, is going to be my travel time. I'll be flying back to Kansas City. So thank you for catching that, Tall Pumps. I had forgotten that. So our Saturday class will not be held this week. However, I'm going to go ahead and get the links up to everybody of the past sessions for those that may have missed something or you want to go back. No, there will not be class on Saturday. Thank y'all for catching that. This last Saturday's class, y'all, that class was so good. That class was so tasty. The class fed me after the class was over. And it was just one of those situations where I did the teaching and they did the feeding. And it was a beautiful, beautiful situation. The Callus 06 come through, and thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. We are so glad to have you. So had a good time with you on yesterday. Thank you for coming back into the Lion's Den this morning. Nothing but mad love coming to you, sir. Nothing but mad love coming to you. Now, before I go further, I do want to stop, and I'm not going to go through a lot of details because, you know, I always try to get permission from folk before I start telling folks business. I don't want to tell nobody's business without their permission. But I'm just going to make one quick reiteration here. I'm going to ask you again, Main Man 68, y'all send the prayers up and just believe and know God knows what he's doing. And man, that's my God. Just send those prayers up. Would you? Sometimes you don't need to know all the details, but you just need to go ahead and just let the prayers go up. So do that for me, and you'll bless me real good on this morning. Main Man 68, nothing but mad love coming from the Lion's Den to you. Now, I want to get started because, listen, I'm going to have some conversation on today that might get a little dicey and spicy, and I'm going to take my time. I'm just going to relax. Y'all see, I'm not rushing. I'm not going through a lot of anything other than just taking my time to talk. So we're going to do our usual, but I'm going to spend the majority of today talking about domestic terrorism against black folks in the United States of America. Yes, I'm going to talk about it, and we're going to cover some things. So hold on to your weave, hold on to your wig, because there's a whole lot to be said about the dastardly, I'm telling you, nothing but dastardly things that took place over this weekend. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not going to come from that normal angle, y'all. I want to talk about some things and make sure that you're aware of some areas and some scenarios and some ideologies that are out here floating around, because some don't know exactly what prompted this whole insanity and what took place. I want to talk about that a little bit. I also want to talk about Quiverful. If y'all don't know what Quiverful is, please hold on to the end of this broadcast stream, because I want to talk about Quiverful, and I want to kind of tie some of this stuff together for you if you're not really clear on everything that's been going on in this country. I just want to make some things plain on today, because at the end of the day, I just want y'all to know some of this stuff has been in the making for a minute, and don't get it twisted. It wasn't by accident that some of this stuff is happening. These children are being groomed for this behavior. And at the end of the day, could it be the devil? Baby, this ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So we're going to talk about the quiver. We're going to talk about the quiver. Because listen, Joanna, there are a whole lot of people that don't know about Quiverful. And we're going to expose some things today. We're going to talk about some things today because we need to be clear. We need to be clear on some of this madness and insanity that's out here. I want you to understand, many of your politicians are standing up and they're blowing this dog whistle to their base of racist people. And I want to pull some stuff into your vision today so you can understand. And at this point, I'm not talking about some stuff that is conspiracy theory, QAnon. No, I'm talking about real stuff that is documented and that is legitimately out here amongst these people. Go ahead and search it. Quiverful. Put in Quiverful and you would be surprised about Quiverful. And we're going to pull this thing together. And I'm going to take my time and talk about this mess this morning because at the end of the day, what we don't know is killing us. And sometimes we need to know and understand exactly how we need to move and maneuver to disarm all of this insanity that's being launched, especially against Black people in this domestic terrorism. Understand, when I say that, I mean just what I said, and I said just what I meant. It's domestic terrorism against Black people. And for every Quiverful, go ahead and you can start looking it up now, because I'm gonna talk about it in just a few minutes. So at the end of the day, I want us to be alert and aware of everything that's going on. And so at the end of the day, I want y'all to sit back and relax, because we're going to have some conversation. I want you to ask me questions, and I want you to give me input and conversation and dialogue with regard to all of this. Cassandra Isaiah, there she is. Classy Cassie is in the room, and she's sassy. Come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you this morning. I want us to understand, so many times we are beaten out in the air and we don't actually know what it is that we are being challenged with, and what we are I'm almost reluctant to use the word fighting, but I mean, we're resisting. We're resisting with everything that's in us. And I want you to be fully aware of what we are resisting, because a lot of this stuff is underground and undercover. But what used to be underground and undercover has come to the mainstream, and it's largely come to the mainstream because you've got governmental officials that are getting up, blowing these dog whistles, and the people that know what they're talking about respond to it, while the people who don't know what they're talking about, and they're using the coded language, coded concepts, and all of this. I want you to understand how all this is coming about. Okay, so let's get ready and go right on into while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. And on today, I'm gonna let the music go because I can't. My studio and the sound is not cooperating, and so until I get that fixed, I'm not gonna bombard you all and have you all trying to hear my voice over the music and all of that. So we just gonna roll if that's okay with you. you all. But just stay with me, and even without, let's just go ahead and have a conversation, and let's talk about what had happened was, well, you see, what had happened was, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, there were a few things that happened up in here, and I just want to talk about it, because at the end of the day, what had happened was, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Let's have a chat about that on this morning. Now, I'm going to open up. Listen, and I want you all to be fully aware. I'm going to open up with Elon Musk and Twitter. So I'm not going to go through a lot of Who Shot John, but as many of you have heard, he's backpedaling on that deal. Now, there's some suspicion that he's backpedaling on the deal, obviously either to get out of it, but more so people think so that they can drop the price, because ever since he has taken over, or actually, let me say this, positioned himself to take over Twitter stock has been falling. I'm telling you, falling like a rock to the bottom of the lake. And now, if you didn't know, now you know. He has said that he will reinstate, and this is what he said the other week. He would reinstate 45's ability to come back on Twitter. Good morning, DJ D, man. This brother is a streamer, y'all, and a fine one. If you're not following DJ D, man, I want you to go out there and follow him right now. He's an excellent DJ, and he ain't too hard on the eyes. You know what I'm saying? So you want to follow this brother. He will bless your whole soul with his vibe. Come on and follow my guy. Thank you for coming in here this morning. Now, I just want to I want to address this dilemma that we have with Elon Musk and the idea that the wealthy are now just going to go out and start buying up whatever. Now, you know, this is what Murdoch did with the newspapers. If you didn't know, many of the printed newspaper and press, Murdoch just went out and bought them all up. And if you noticed, all of a sudden they all started sounding alike, writing alike, talking alike, coming from the same ideologies. And you know, anytime you didn't need to laugh out loud. I told the truth, sir. I told the truth. He is fine, Joanna G. He is fine. You better go over and check this brother out. I'm telling you, he's fine. Now, as we look at what's going on with the situation with Elon Musk, and again, saying that he's going to reinstate this idea of allowing 45 to come back on Twitter with all of his misinformation and so on and so forth. My antennas went up right there. And to be able to give opportunities for the far right and the racist regime to be able to have a place where they can talk, chat, and do whatever. And I even said this. Joanna G said following. DJ D, man, you gotta follow just off your looks alone. I looked over and saw that. I got tickled. I ain't mad at you, Joanna G. Honey, get that eye candy. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's soothing to the eyes. Let it bless you real good. Diablo is the prince of the air, spewing hate, death, and destruction everywhere, every day. Our voices and lives matter. Absolutely, positively. I appreciate. And I agree with you 100%, Cassandra. So as we look at, you know, all of this that's going on, and I even in the idea, people were saying once they found out that he was going to take it over, then they started jumping off of Twitter. And at the end of the day, the man is now backpedaling and saying, you know, put a pin in it. Let's stall and wait and see what we're going to do. And this is what he's saying. Now, again, the idea that most of us are thinking is he's trying to drive this price down. This is what he's saying, that there are fake accounts on Twitter And he wants to guarantee. Twitter said there's less than 5% fake accounts. He's alleging, and I don't know where he came up with his figure of upwards of 20% fake accounts on Twitter. Now, why do the fake accounts on Twitter even matter? The issue is all about money. And if you all have not understood and figured this out yet, why do social media outlets want you to spend so much time on their platforms? This is all about money. And how do they make the money? Advertisements. So this is what Elon Musk is arguing, that if there's upwards of 20% fake accounts, then how do advertisers, and this is exactly how he framed it and worded it. He didn't try to hide it. He didn't try to cover it up. He let you know plainly, I could care less about you people on Twitter. My issue is the advertisers, because that's where the money is. He framed it this way. How do the advertisers know exactly what they're getting? Because there's a big difference between 5% fake accounts and upwards of 20% fake accounts. Now, if you didn't understand anything, he just revealed it and laid it bare and made it plain for you right there. They don't care about you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Now, even as I said, as people started leaving Twitter, I said, well, check this out. If he's going to make it a right wing and everybody on the left and moderate leaves the channel, they now just have an open door to do whatever they want to do, because all the folks left and they can say, we didn't put them off. They just jumped up and left. I'm just showing I'm playing the devil's advocate. They just jumped off and left. And now we're just chatting and we're talking and we're doing what we do. And now we have a platform that is completely open and available to us to do whatever we want to do. Okay. So that's one side that I cautioned and said, let's look at that and really assess it for what it's worth before everybody jumps off. But at the same time, he just laid bare the fact that they don't care about you. His reason for buying it is because the money comes from the advertisers. They need you to engage on these platforms because they're constantly bombarding you with the information that they want you to have. A free platform that is established. Come on here, DJ D-Man. That's what I'm saying. It's going to give a free platform that is established. So at the end of the day, he's dragging his feet. Now, some are speculating that he's got money problems. Now, he just might. I don't know. I'm not in the man's pocketbook, and I don't know. His accountant it wasn't reported to me, but some are thinking that he needs that price to come down because he's having some money problems. At the end of the day, the cost of the stock has definitely dropped. The stock has just taken a nosedive since there has been this challenge that he's going to take it over. And at the end of the day, he was offering above dollar anyway. But now as the stock continues to drop in price, now his above dollar is looking real crazy because at the end of the day, whatever he calculated the percentage that he wanted to be above dollar, that gap just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So then this is the thing that I have to question. Is it really a legitimate that 20% has been found to be fake accounts, or did he just arbitrarily make up this fake number to bring the cost down? Because this is what did not happen when Twitter had the assessment of how much and how many fake accounts they had. They did not have it verified. So, I don't know how and who they used to come up with that number, but it's not a verifiable number. So is this man about to drive them to make them verify it and prove that it's not upwards of 20%? At the end of the day, I still feel like he's trying to bring the price down without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I'm looking over here. Man has Tesla, SpaceX, and has time for social media platform. Come on, Go Ratty. I mean, at the end of the day, but it's really about manipulating and controlling a space for disseminating information, be it true, false, or otherwise. The issue is being in control of a space where you can talk and say whatever you want to say. I know for myself, I am definitely not on the right, but my Facebook is continuously bombarded with literature from the right. Now, this is what Facebook was originally saying. They actually claim that what they do is look at what you are viewing and how you view it. And from that, the algorithm determines what shows up in your account. But I know that's a lie because I don't look at, I don't view, I don't support right-wing stuff, but I'll get right-wing stuff faster than I get anything else because they have the ability to manipulate what information is being fed into your feed. And so you end up, before I see anything else, it seems like when I get up and I refresh and I go into my Facebook account, the first thing that I'm bombarded with is all this right wing mess, which I do not subscribe to. So at the end of the day, don't tell me an algorithm sat down and looked at what I watch and what I view and then subsequently started feeding my feed with what looks like it would fit me. That's a lie. Listen, could it be? Could it be? Because I want you to know it. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. The devil. Baby, I tell you, that ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. And so at the end of the day, where they keep saying that it's the algorithm that's choosing this stuff, somebody got to lie. Listen, come on, let me do it.
Why you always lying?
Somebody got a lying spirit. That is not an algorithm, because my algorithm should not be pulling right-wing stuff into my feed. No, you're taking advantage of the fact that you can push this stuff the way you want to push it, and you'll push that in my feed before you'll push what I want to see. So at the end of the day, y'all quit lying, quit lying, quit lying.
Why you always lying?
And that's why you want to have control of it, sir, so that you can control the conversation that's getting pumped out here into the communities. His problem is he got so much money, he don't know what to do with it now. I don't know what his problem is, but at the end of the day, it's a mess. Tesla shares went up once Twitter deal is stalling. Oh, come through. Even Wall Street doesn't like his move. So at the end of the day, the truth air raids, Diablo's lies. Come on and roar righteously.
Why you always lying?
So glad, Stacy, I see you, and you have a great day. Hate to see you go, but I love you, sis. He didn't know that before buying it. Nathan Lamont, you best believe anytime they get ready to take and make business moves, they do all of the investigative that needs to happen before they get into that. So at the end of the day, don't quit lying. You had to leave Facebook. Too much right-wing racist stuff coming up in your feed. And I'm telling you, Den Darn is in the room. Come on, sis. Come on. So glad to have you today. Good to have you, and blessings to you all day long. So, at the end of the day, I'm trying to tell you, lots of false info regarding COVID comes from the hard right. Listen, a lot of, hey, there she is, y'all. Go Ratty. A lot of this mess that's coming comes from the far right. Shelly Thunder. She's in the room, y'all. She's in the room. So good to have you, sis. Come on in here, because we're having conversation this morning. So at the end of the day, I got you, Kai Chick, lurking and working, and so much love coming to you, sis. So at the end of the day, y'all, don't buy this stuff. Don't buy this. It's malarkey. Michelle Browno, that's my quiet storm. She's in the room. Listen, I love you, girl. This malarkey that they want to push is it's false. It's false. So pay attention. And this is the thing that's funny to me. While they want to say it's the algorithm that's deciding what comes up, I literally, when the far right information comes in my feed, I literally exit out and block it, and it still comes back. I still continue to get, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see anything related to this. You know what happens when you put that X block on it. You don't want to see this. I don't want to see anything related to this. Okay, you'll see less of this in your feed. And then poof, magically, it's back again. Explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. So at the end of the day, believe what you want to believe, but there's a whole lot of hanky panky going on out here in these here streets. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to bring that in. That is conversation that's going on this morning that really he's now coming out. Elon Musk is now coming out saying, no, it ain't 5%. It's more like upwards of 20%. And so, yes, we're trying to, I guess, negotiate this price and bring it down that he has put in the motion. But he's trying to stall that thing and back it up to drop the price or get out of the deal. You do the same, then darn, it says irrelevant, but it still comes back up. So explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. Y'all quit lying out here. Quit lying. Y'all pushing what you want to push on these platforms. Tell the truth and shame the devil. So that was a story that I wanted to deal with. And so you understand all the dynamics that are going on with that. Be clear. Be clear. Don't let them feed you whatever this malarkey is that they want to say to you and have you believe it. Still pay attention. That's what I'm telling you. Pay attention. I don't care. My uncle used to say, my Uncle Walt, God rest his soul. Love that man. Love that man. My Uncle Walt used to say, if their lips are moving, they're lying. They're just certain people that if their lips are moving, they're lying. And some of these people, I need y'all to understand and take that same mentality as Uncle Walt. You need to understand, I don't care their position. I don't care their title. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You need to have a discerning spirit that knows if their lips are moving, they're lying. So there you have it. And that's all I got to say about that scenario right there. But just let it be clear what's really going on and don't get it twisted. Please do not get it twisted. So at the end of the day, I also, and I'm going to look at what else I want to go to before I actually go to where I really, really, really want to go on this fine day, because I'm going to take my time. This morning, I don't know if any of you watched Ben Crump has come to the rescue. He has come to the rescue. Mel's not in here this morning, so she could say, where's Ben Crump? Call Ben Crump. Well, they called Ben Crump after the situation on Saturday. Smoke and lies get in your eyes. Listening to Diablo and his crew are smoke screens designed to destroy you. Y-O-U. And we're not talking conspiracy here. We're talking some legitimate issues that I need you to pay attention and stay woke so that you don't believe the hype and get caught up in some of this insanity. Now, Ben Crump has been called to the rescue. Mel ain't here this morning, but he's on the scene. Now, with that being said, I do want to say, if you get a chance, this morning, I've already cried. I thought I was going to do some. I cried my last tear yesterday. But baby, if you go out there and watch Ben Crump's interview with the family of Ruth Whitmore, if you're not crying by the end of that interview, I just don't know if you have a soul. I just don't know what has happened. You're scarred, you're marred, something's going on. And this wasn't for sensationalism. I'm telling you, Rebel Inc., this wasn't for, it's just raw. Because at the end of the day, and her son that spoke was actually the fire chief of Brooklyn at one time. Let me see. Let me get this right. Buffalo. I was like, I know I'm not calling it right. Buffalo. We're talking about upstanding citizens, people that at the end of the day, where the right would like to make it seem that they're purging and cleansing the country of all of these negative elements and whatever. I wanted to stop and take my time today, and I really want to talk about what's really going on here and have some real conversation. So, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna go ahead and come on out of while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, because I'm going to take my time and we're going to talk about this morning because it needs to be addressed. Now, come on. Explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me, Lucy. We went all the way over into another country to get Osama bin Laden. We went all the way over into another country to get Osama bin Laden because of terroristic threats and terroristic attacks. Good morning, Psalmist 4. Come on in here. So much love coming to you, Queen. I'm going to say it once more again. We allegedly went all the way over to get Osama bin Laden for terroristic threats and actions against his countrymen. And domestic terrorism in the United States of America has been going on for how many years, and we are not getting our own terrorists. Now, this is why I want to applaud what I saw this morning. Crump has a crew this time to help him do what they do. You cried, baby. I cried, Cassandra. I'm telling you. And if you have not seen that story, if you have not watched that clip, because this was my concern. I am concerned that we hear very little going on about to the magnitude, let me say to the magnitude about what happened on Sunday in comparison to a George Floyd incident. All of them are dastardly, but somehow or another, these mass shootings, people have become desensitized to them. Like, and black people, we're at the point now where we're saying, when are we going to turn around and come back and be like, next? And then we're going to turn around and come back and say next. And then we're going to turn around and come back and say next, because it just keeps happening and we're sick of it. Now, I'm going to say once more and again, we spent resources above and beyond to go after Osama bin Laden as a terrorist, and all of these others that we want to say of the Muslim group that are terrorists, and actually demonize Islam and Islamic people. But here you have terrorism coming from the Christian ranks in this country, so-called Christian ranks in this country, that are terrorizing and killing black folks and been doing it for who knows how long, because the KKK was nothing more than a so-called Christian organization that was out here killing black folks and others as well. But this is one thing I do want to stress, and this is one thing that I do want to address on today. So, you know, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. If I get disconnected, y'all know they heard me and they cut me off. Nonetheless, I'm going to talk my talk and walk my walk while I'm on here. Dr. Dady Priest is in the room, y'all. That's my high priestess, and engagement matters. Come on in here, sis, and so much love coming to you. I love you. I love you. If you are not following Dr. Dady Priest, I want you to go out and follow her right now, then come back. Now, I want to take my time. I want to take my time and talk about this cheerings, because this vexes my very soul. We'll send somebody and all of our military and financial resources for terrorism in other countries that have nothing to do with us other than the fact we want their oil. We'll send folks for that, but we still cannot stop domestic terrorism on our own land. Now, on our own soil. It seems like, listen, Christianity, or rather religion, was used for all of this, Joanna G, all of this. And once the killing is done, it's excused with folk having a mental disorder, Nathan Lamont. Air raids, STL, air raids. Come on, I'm trying to tell you. Now, at the end of the day, I'm so dismayed by this behavior that this country has found it comfortable to watch repeatedly. So let me deal with a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm dismayed when I keep listening and they're talking about the racism that the right is launching and lodging. But when they start talking about people of color, they start talking about Muslims and they start talking about Jewish people. But it's black folks that they're killing. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This whole people of color umbrella that we've created to once more and again bypass the truth of the matter. You'll talk about the Jewish people and you'll talk about the Muslim people, but you keep missing the fact that it's black people that they're killing. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. So I'm saying very clearly, this is domestic terrorism against black people. I feel for my other people of color. But listen, when my Asian people of color had terroristic acts taken against them, we got an Asian hate crime bill passed. When my Asian brothers and sisters had a number of people that were killed back to back in the scenario, we got an Asian hate crime bill passed. Now we've got black people that continue to be murdered and slain time after time after time after time, and we cannot get an anti-black hate crime passed. Because now when you talk about people of color, you want to talk about Jewish people and you want to talk about Muslim people, you want to talk about Hispanic people, but y'all killing black folks. It is domestic terrorism against black people. Call a spade and y'all quit playing with me. I literally watched a show on Sunday evening that had one black man on the panel. Everybody else was some other ethnicity and or white. And they talked about Jews. They talked about Muslim. They talked about how they were treated and da 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 da. And after 9/11 and yada yada yada. And we're here because 10 black people are dead, and the black man got to say something for about 20 seconds, and the rest of this conversation about 10 dead people laying on the ground was covered up with people of color, and you still haven't talked about black people. Could it be? Could it be? Y'all ain't ready for me today. Could it be? The devil. Now listen, beloved, I ain't got nothing against those other nationalities and ethnicities. I don't have anything against them. But baby, when you come up and you kill all of these black people and start talking about everybody else, Houston, there is a problem. Did you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? 10 black people are dead. 13 people were wounded in total. And at the end of the day, you have a whole conversation about the Jewish and the Muslim. And I'm sitting here like, am I confused or what? Because they killed black folks. Could it be? Could it be? The devil. And it's dastardly. Now, I just want to take my time today because we need to unite on this front. And this is something that I feel that Ben Crump has strategically positioned. If you watch that press conference, what is he pushing? He's pushing the idea that we need a anti-black hate crime bill and we need legislation on the books to change because we've had enough of this with black people being in this cycle and circle where wait a few days, it's going to happen again. Then wait a few more days, it's going to happen again. Wait a few more days, it's going to happen again. And at the end of the day, you just keep killing us and we cannot get an anti-black hate crime bill passed. I'm going to call a spade, and today I'm addressing the issue of the fact that we've got domestic terrorism against black people. Now, I just need to write the vision and make it plain. So at the end of the day, y'all, at the end of the day, let's address some areas here. Because we must, and again, I am addressing and I am identifying that we must unify and unite. And I'm not saying, and I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna be clear. Even as all of this has happened, and I was already in process with some other things. But listen, boss energy, I feel very, very, very pushed in my back that boss energy has to be more than a conversation and a talk. Boss energy is going to morph into an organization where we are organized so we can advocate, educate, and unite. We're going to take our boss energy and we're going to advocate, educate, and unite. Boss energy to advocate, educate, and unite because something's got to change. I said it. Advocate, educate, and unite because people are destroyed for lack of knowledge and lack of understanding, lack of wisdom, lack of knowing. And we are not going to keep going around in this cycle over and over and over and over again. If we've got boss energy, let's take this boss energy and begin to make a transitioning and a healing on this travesty that just keeps happening because this is ridiculous. We cannot continue to sit back and watch our man. When I'm telling you, if you watch that video and you listen to Ruth Whitfield's children, her sons, her two daughters, the granddaughter, you hear and you feel the whole gut wrenching. Not that they're the only ones. That's it right there, Psalmist 4. We're going to advocate, educate, and unite because we got boss energy. This is the place where we say enough is enough and too much is too much. What I do feel that Ben Crump has done, hey, we got a raid going on, y'all. We got a raid. Come on, let me go ahead and let the raiders in before I get into this because I'm going somewhere, y'all. I'm going somewhere, and I want y'all to come along with me.
Big Moochie, baby.
Good morning, Raiders. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in here, that diva, I see you. Natty Dread, I see you. KB Browns, I see you. Miss Lottie Dottie, I see you. Come on in here. I see you, Miss Robin. Come on, Gigi Loves, Giggles Loves, I believe it is Giggles Love. Come on, I see you. I see you. Come on in here, and I appreciate all the Raiders that rode over. The gospel takeover is here, and we appreciate you for coming in the room. We appreciate you for coming in the room. MC Control, I see you. Come on in the room, baby. Come on in the room. I love you. I love you. I love you. So much love coming to you. Hey. Hey, Ava Odom, I see you. Come on in here, sis. I see you. I see you. I see you. Come on in here. Come on in here. Oh, thank you for the raids. And it's a terrific Tuesday. Thank you for coming in. I thank you for coming in. And this raid was brought to you and sanctioned by none other than the Bishop of Twitch. I appreciate him. One Reason is in the room. Yes, the gospel takeover has taken over another space in the Lion's Den, and you are welcome here. Thank you, Bishop. Yes, Bishop One Reason is in the room. Thank you so much for bringing your people into the house and the Lion's Den. We love you so, so, so much. Blessings to you. Now, back to where I am and back to where I was talking from. This whole scenario, and I appreciate the fact that what Ben Crump has done this time, and I think, now let's keep it real. He selected the family of Ruth Whitfield, I'm sure, because you do have situations like the son was a fire captain. You do have situations like these are all fine, upstanding citizens that you have an 87-year-old mother. As a matter of fact, I think my heart was almost ripped out of my chest. The father, her husband, doesn't even know it yet. Yolanda, Oli, come on in here. So glad to have you. Now, the father has not been told yet because at this stage of the game, she went as was her custom because he's in a nursing home or a healthcare facility of some sort extended. And it was her custom to go see about him, take care of him every day. And then she went to the grocery store and was cut down like a dog in the street. LaWanda Baskerville, she's in the room. Yes, miracles, signs, and wonders. LaWanda is here, and I'm so glad you came in. I appreciate you. Go ahead and lurk and work. We love you. Love you. Love you. Now, so at the end of the day, beloveds, I'm sure he chose this family because you're not going to dig around and find all kind of skeletons in their closet. You're talking about the captain, the fire captain of the Buffalo Fire Department at one time. So, you know, you're not going to sully these people with all kinds of negativity. So at the end of the day, we know that they were chosen and selected. Still does not take away from the pain, y'all. Psalmist 4, thank you so much. I see you lurking and working. So much love coming to you. So at the end of the day, we understand that the family was selectively chosen, but there's still 9 other families that have loved ones that are deceased. I feel like I understand the strategy that Ben Crump is doing here. And he does have boots on the ground attorneys to assist with this case. Now, at the end of the day, as I said, if you have not watched that video footage, baby, I want you to go back and watch it because I'm telling you, it will have you, oh my God. But not for the purpose of just tear jerking and crying, and to see the pain and say, this must stop. That's what I'm talking about. To come to a point where we say we're not going to allow another situation to come and go without giving it the reaction, the time, the understanding that it needs, because we're not going to keep going through this. Now, that being said, I want to come here and I really want to give honor to these individuals who lost their lives. I want to give honor to these individuals because at the end of the day, these are human lives that just went to the grocery store, y'all. They just went to the grocery store. That's all they did. They went to the grocery store and got shot down in the streets just because they're black. And if you all didn't see the footage where the shooter, this 18-year-old child, the shooter walked up on a white man. And then when he saw that he was white, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and backed up and went the other direction. So at the end of the day, your city council lost his auntie. Come on here, Ava Odom. And my heart goes out to everybody that lost somebody. These are lives that were cut down and no more simply because of racism. Now, I'm not going to have a long drawn out conversation just about the racism as a general topic and conversation. I do want to hone in on some things. And as we move forward, again, I'm going to say, I want us to remember their lives. I want them to be remembered. I want them to be applauded and appreciated for their lives, making a difference in our outcome, because we're not going to just keep standing for this. Like I said, if we got boss energy, we're going to turn boss energy into an opportunity to activate, educate, and unite. Yes, I said it, and I'm going to say it again. We're going to take our boss energy collectively as an opportunity to advocate, educate, and unite, because this must stop. Now, when I start talking about educating, let's start right here. Let's start with the idea of this. And I don't know if you all are paying attention. These are young people that are doing these heinous acts. Now, let's go back to the 60s and the civil rights movement there. Where was the biggest traction gained in the civil rights movements of the 50s and 60s? The biggest traction was gained when they started using the children. And I'm telling you, when they brought the children into the civil rights movement in the 60s, that's when things started to change. And so there is that understanding by groups and organizations, the power that you have when you mobilize young people. Now, I want you to take that same understanding and I want you to look at Charlottesville and look at the age of that shooter. Look at this scenario. Look at the age of that shooter. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse and look at the age of that shooter. They have also taken this same strategy that says there's power and traction if we mobilize these young people. So I'm going to say something that really Ben Crump said on that interview. He said, listen, not only these children do we need to look at, but we need to say and understand at the end of the day, thank you for the re-up, Michelle Brown. 17 months, girl. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We need to look at the idea. So at the end of the day, we turn around and understand the same tactic of the civil rights movement of the 60s utilizing these young people. The unfortunate thing is that they're taking the young people and radicalizing them at very young ages and sending the young kids out here to do their bidding. So at this point, as Ben Crump said, he said, we young minds are very impressionable, KB Browns, very impressionable. So we got to pay attention to that. So at the end of the day, I want us to take a real close look and understand exactly all of the dynamics that are going on here. These kids are being brainwashed with this madness. These kids, come on, young people can be easily confused, Joanna G. These kids are being brainwashed with this madness and they're utilizing them. Now, stop and think about this because I said this the other day. This young man, as he was committing his crime, he was streaming to Twitch. Who was he streaming to? $64,000 question. Who was he streaming to? So at the end of the day, he knew that he had viewership that was watching this heinous act. So this is where I said it the other day, and I'll say it again. They need to investigate every viewer of that stream, every single viewer that was watching that stream as he was walking around in there killing black folk. I'm not talking about Muslim. I'm not talking about Hispanic. I'm not talking about Jewish people, black folk. While he was in there killing black folk, somebody was watching that. They need to be investigated. Now, as Ben Crump said on Today, come on, you know how I do it, Rebel. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z tis. So listen, I need you to understand this. There is a base that is pushing these young people out here. Ben Crump said it, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to say it. He said, we need to understand that even though this young man is the one that ultimately took these people's lives, somebody else put the bullets in that young man's gun. And by that, he's referring to the idea that this ideology and this concept and these teachings and this radicalization of this young man, somebody put that in this young man's minds, and they need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable just as much as this young man is held accountable, because this is coming from somewhere. He didn't think it up himself. Even the manifesto that he left, 180 some odd pages, I believe it was. This man didn't come up with those 180 some odd pages himself. This man is getting this from somewhere, and the somewhere that he's getting it needs to be addressed, held accountable, and dealt with. Now, that's what Ben Crump is pushing right now. And I can get on that bandwagon because, listen, Houston, there is a problem. And the only way that we're going to make a change is that we're going to have to get to the root and get that rooted out so that we can deal with what's really going on. These are pawns that are being used. These kids are pawns that are being used by a deeper deeper and more sinister power. And with their little confused minds thinking that they're grown and they're really doing something, they're getting caught up in some mess that never should be. Am I talking to anybody? Thousands, Tall Pump, were watching that. Thousands, and manifesto that's 180 pages. Explain it to me, Lucy. So this is where we got to look at. And he was arrested without being shot, tased, or even hand slapped. That, come on. You know, they talked him out after he put they claim he put the gun up to his chin like he was going to shoot his. That joker wasn't going to kill himself. But at the end of the day, they talked him out of it, and he was taken without incident. And I just want to know, did he go to Burger King? So at the end of the day, we look at these scenarios that are happening, and I want us to be aware, where did he get this manifesto? So let's deal first and foremost with this concept of the great replacement. It's nothing new. It's nothing that's fresh out of the gate. But at the end of the day, many of us don't know about the great replacement that they're out here preaching and teaching and pushing into these young people's minds. And this is a thing that I keep saying. I don't care if it's religion. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's ideologies like this. If it's rooted and founded in fear, reject it. Because fear is utilized to control. Understand me. Fear is utilized to control. So if I've got fear tactics coming from the pulpit, and I've said this ever since I was a little girl, don't try to scare me into giving my life to God. That's a turnoff. It's a no. It's a no, ma'am, no, sir. So if you're using fear in any way, shape, or form, I don't care if it's coming from the pulpit and y'all calling it church. I don't care how you get them in, scare them in. No, don't scare nobody in nothing, because fear is not healthy in a so-called relationship. So let's keep it clear. King Coogee, my sire, is in the room. Come on in here. He's a streamer. That's my brother. I love you. Anytime you're dealing with fear and pushing fear, understand right off the bat, that is about control. And that's why I'm even saying to the parents and your parenting style, if you're inciting fear in your child to control your child, that's the wrong direction. That's the wrong foundation to try and get a relationship with your child. If you are inciting fear in your child, you gonna fear me. Baby, I don't care what relationship, I don't care what scenario. If it's rooted and founded in fear, it is not healthy. Hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at this whole concept of the great replacement that the Jewish people are sending for black people. They're sending for other ethnicities of immigrants and people to come in to replace them. And come on, DJ The Force. I see you lurking and working. There's my brother. I saw you on yesterday. I was in your room. I just didn't say anything, but I love you. He is a streamer. If you're not following him, please follow DJ The Force. He is a streamer. And please follow King Coogee. I appreciate you both. Now check this out. As we look at this idea that they're being and replaced for what? Replaced for what? That's what are you being replaced? The great replacement. What are you being replaced for? You're scared that somebody's going to get your money. You're scared that somebody's going to get your position, your title, your job. You're scared. Well, listen, at the end of the day, everybody else has been treated like chattels. We've been treated like animals in this country. And what are you afraid of? You've had this upper hand in this position and nobody's trying to replace you. But yes, we are saying we are equal and we will not be subjugated to be made to feel that we're less than. We will not be subjugated to be made to feel that we don't deserve things. We will not be subjugated that we get in a situation where we have to constantly try to prove who we are. So at the end of the day, I see you, King Coogee. Do I believe in a healthy fear of things? And this is my thing, King Coogee, anything that's based in fear. And so I'm going to say I'm not a fear-based person. And a lot of times the people come out and say it's a healthy fear. And at the end of the day, it's just fear mongering. And so I'm going to move away from that, and we'll have that conversation on another day, because I can have a whole topic of conversation on fear, because this country and these people and churches have made so much money and oppressed so many people from fear, even what some folk call healthy fear. So that would require more conversation. That's not my topic for today, but I'm still going to stand on my statement. Any relationship that's built and based out of fear is unhealthy, and I'm going to stand my ground on that. No cream, no sugar. I take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like a Tiz. And y'all like fear, you can have it if you want to. Miss me with that. So at the end of the day, I'm looking, if we was to replace them, they would have already been replaced. Nobody's trying to replace anybody. Exactly, the gift. What we are saying is that we are equal. You're not going to keep subjugating me. You're not going to keep pushing me down. And you're not going to keep having me out here begging for a bone. No, ma'am, no, sir. And then act like when you threw me a bone, you did me a favor. No, you did not. So we have these ideas of the great replacement that has been out here. And so, yeah, you saw them chanting, Jews will not replace us. Jews will not. This is insanity, y'all. This is, and I really would love to have some means by which we begin to require mental health assessments for these individuals, because at the end of the day, this is some crazy stuff. Now, now I want to tie this fear of replacement, and stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm getting ready to take this thing to another level. Michelle Brownell sent me a documentary for me to watch. I enjoyed it. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's called Our Father. If you haven't seen it, it's called Our Father. Now, what does this documentary show? This documentary shows fertility doctors that are out here inseminating all these women with their own sperm. Now, stay with me because I'm going somewhere. Michelle, that was crazy. That movie was crazy. That documentary, because it's not a movie, that documentary is crazy. Yes, hear what I'm saying. Fertility doctors that are out here inseminating women with their own sperm. Now, stay with me because I'm going somewhere. And all of this is connected to the great replacement theory. So this is what come on. One reason I want y'all, because listen, this ain't no made up stuff. This is for real. This is for real. This is how warped some of these individuals are in their minds as to, we're about to be replaced. We got to do this change by any means necessary. So understand, why then are we having this great push that abortions cannot be done? Because at the end of the day, we don't want women to not be able to produce us more babies, especially when you out here got doctors and other folk out here producing and multiplying, because they're fearful that they're going to be in this situation as they believe the great replacement to be. So what are they doing? We got to be fruitful and multiply, right down to these fertility doctors. And this particular, if you go and read or watch Our Father, that one fertility doctor by himself had over 100 kids at last count. Do you understand the words that are coming about? This ain't no made up stuff. This is for real. Over 100 kids at last count. One man is going in, and even with the people, those parents coming in because they're incapable or having difficulty giving birth to children, even those fathers are going in, giving sperm samples. thinking that their sperm is being put in their spouses to impregnate them, and the doctors are discarding the sperm of the actual fathers, and they're actually impregnating the women with their own sperm. This ain't no made up stuff. This ain't no made up stuff, Kai Chick. This ain't no made up stuff. I want you to understand how sick the people are. So at the end of the day, his scripture that he keeps quoting is from, I believe, Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the mother's womb, I knew you. Well, yes, you knew you, because listen, it's your sperm that you went in there and jacked off on and ejaculated and then put in. Now, listen, put that into perspective. The sperm has to be fresh and warm and kept. So understand this. This man is literally going into a room while his patients are lying on the table covered up, waiting for him to come back with this specimen. He's going into a room, ejaculating, putting it in a syringe, and then coming back into that woman's room, still freshly tanked up from that ejaculation, and putting that sperm inside that woman. And the man was not charged with any. He did come up with 2 felony counts for lying, because the thing that they finally got him on, this particular one, Dr. Klein, the thing that they finally got him on was that he lied in his deposition in saying he did not inseminate these women with his sperm, and these were not his children. That's what they got him for, was for lying, not for the fact that he's coming through with some newfangled rape. Because at the end of the day, that is still a sexual assault that took place. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. These folk, and this is real stuff. These are real stories. This isn't made up. So all of this tying to this idea of we're about to be replaced. We're about to be replaced by all of these other people. We've got to be fruitful and we've got to multiply. Listen, this ain't no made up stuff. Go Ratty, this is madness. And that's why I said today, it's privilege rape. It's privilege rape. And now with these abortion laws, that's exactly the next thing they're coming, because they're trying to force the women, even if you are a victim of some of this kind of madness, you cannot abort this child. You still got to carry it to full term, because we believe in the sanctity of life. We don't believe that you have the right to say, no, you're not going to inseminate me with your nasty sperm, but we believe in the sanctity of life. And even if you conceive this child by such convoluted means, you still got to birth this baby. That baby's is insanity. Good morning, Barbara Hardy. Come on in the room. That's my these are they friend. Come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you. And so therein comes all of the push for this abortion to be stopped in its track, because at the end of the day, God forbid that these white women go out here and get abortions and don't bring these babies into the world lest they be replaced. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. And I'm not coming up with conspiracy. I'm talking about this is stuff that if go watch the documentary. These are people that are demented. Now, when I looked it up, Cecil Brian Jacobson is another one. And to date, I looked up, and y'all can Google it, how many fertility doctors have been found that they use their own sperm. At least 50. At least 50. Miss Sexy E, good morning to you. Come on in here. At least 50. Listen, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. At least 50 fertility doctors in the United States have been found and accused in recent years of donating. Don't you love that? Not raping the women. They're donating their sperm. And commercial DNA has revealed they've been impregnating these women with their own sperm. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Now this, oh my God, could it be? Could it be? The devil. Baby, this ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. Unsolicited, one reason. And at the end of the day, these women and their children are devastated. These women are crying. Their children are crying. The fathers who thought they were the fathers, but then only to find out Beauty for You is in the room. Listen, she is a streamer, y'all. I want y'all to go out there and follow her. She will bless your whole life and your mind. She'll help you get your mind right because, listen, she deals with counseling and therapy. Beauty for You. I love you, sister. Thank you for coming in. Now, at the end of the day, unsolicited and people thinking that they are getting the sperm of their mates and they're being given the sperm of these doctors. There's a show on Netflix or Hulu about the one doctor who did that. Oh, Crazy Berry Town. The last count was 99. If you go out and look at Our Father on Netflix, Our Father is the name of it. 99 was the last count. 99. Unsolicited. Down to the point where they ended up where they were potentially interacting with their family members in the streets and the byways, and they didn't know that they were related. Royal Confessions, good morning to you. And it's just nasty. It's just nasty, nasty, nasty. And this, beloved, is what we have to contend with. And this man was still an elder in his church. And this was the thing. They had one of the people from the congregation that said, I know him and I know him very well. And even though he did that, I'm sure he's made amends with God and he's gotten his soul right with God and everything's okay. What kind of what? Yeah, he didn't want to be revealed. He didn't want them to see him. But yet and still, he can testify in the same town. One reason many of them were within a small radius of miles from one another, but many of them in the same town. This nasty. And wait a minute. I hate to I don't want to tell the storyline, but I will say this. The man was treating and doing the same thing to one of the kids that was his own child, and he knew it. Listen, this is the thing, Psalmist 4. There are no laws on the books for this at current. There are no laws on the books at current. So they can keep doing this and they can keep doing this and they can keep doing this in the idea that this great replacement has to be dealt with. So they're being fruitful and they're multiplying all across the world. And at the end of the day, every time you turned around, what was he doing? Quoting scriptures. And so she finally cussed the joker out and said, listen, because miss me with them scriptures, with your nasty self. Miss me with all of those scriptures with your nasty self. And he and his wife teach Sunday school, and he's a head elder at the church. And child, please, y'all nasty. And stop talking to me about the love of God and you need Christians. Listen, y'all nasty, sick, demented, twisted people. Ooh, y'all ain't ready for me. This is real stuff. Now, this is what almost all the kids look just like him, Royal Confessions. And that's the thing they started saying. They felt uncomfortable when they would find out, because they were looking at each other and they realized something's wrong. And most of them are blonde haired, blue eyed. Not all of them, but most of them are blonde haired, blue eyed. And this joker, I'm telling you, if he wasn't a monster, this man cared nothing about all these children that he birthed into the world by false means. Ooh, I'm telling you. Now, at the end of the day, at the worst, Bible quoting devils, beauty for you. Those are the worst. I just can't take it. I just can't take it. I just cannot take it. We got so many in recent times that I would love to talk about. And that's black folk too. We got some black preachers out here that, honey, I would love. But that's not my topic for today. But a lot of this mess, oh my God, it's mess. Now, the reason why I said for y'all to go out and look up Quiverful, because some of this is coming through, and I want y'all to understand, and I hope some of y'all said at the beginning, it happened right in the community because they didn't know, nobody took him out. There were no charges. Listen, this man went on about his business like wasn't nothing. And so at the end of the day, I want to come here because I told y'all to look this up at the very onset of this conversation, because that kind of mindset and this great replacement, this is the core, this is the origin for this insanity that these racist white people are utilizing. This is the core, is this idea of the great replacement that causes 50 plus fertility doctors that have been out here inseminating people with their own seed unbeknownst to them. The name of it is Our Father, and it's on Netflix. I'm telling you, it will have your brain exploding. It will have your brain exploding. Our Father. That's why I say I got this from Michelle Brown. I told you she's a quiet storm. She changes the atmosphere just by being in it. She's always coming and bringing information. I want y'all to go out there, Netflix. If you have Netflix, go look at Our Father. Watch that documentary, and I promise you, your mouth will be hanging open. And then let me come back and reiterate, to date, over 50 infertility doctors have been found to be guilty of this. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Over 50 fertility doctors have been found guilty of this. Now, I just want you to take a look at this right here, and I want to talk about this real quick. Quiverful is a Christian theological position. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up in its totality here so y'all can see it. You can look it up. You can see this stuff is not made up. This is for real. It's a Christian theological position that sees large families as a blessing of God. It encourages procreation, abstaining from all and any kind of birth control, including natural family planning and sterilization. That's just the guilty ones. One reason. That's just the guilty ones that have been caught so far. Thank you for saying that. That's just the guilty ones that have been caught so far. Now, I want y'all to understand Quiverful is a movement that's out here and that's spurring and stimulating a lot of this insanity. And how did this come up? When they started investigating Dr. Klein, who is the subject of conversation in Our Father, Quiverful started coming up, such that the daughter that found out that she was one of his children without consent, when she went and started looking up Quiverful, that kept coming up. I'm talking about all this hidden mess that's out here, and y'all need to know what you're dealing with. All of this hidden mess that's out here lurking and working underneath and behind the scenes. Quiverful kept coming up to the extent that she looked it up. And that's when she discovered this movement of white people that believe they got to be out here and try to have as many children as they can possibly have. Because what? They're working against the great replacement. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And at the end of the day, y'all see that? Y'all see all of this from fear of the great replacement. Fear of the great replacement. And I'm done. I'm just done. I'm just done. I'm just done. And I'm going to come back here again. All of this done under the guise of religion and God and the Bible and what God wants. The world has gone nuts, Beauty for You. And this is the thing that's even more, what I want to say, make it make sense. Because when they start talking about the great replacement and the need for movements like Quiverful and the need to have fertility doctors out here multiplying with their own sperm, at the end of the day, when we listen to this conversation about what they're saying, they don't want to be replaced because this is their land, this is their country, this is their continent. How do you miss the fact that you came in and killed and removed and replaced Native Americans and indigenous peoples from their lands and took them over? You killed them, you slaughtered them, you maimed them, you took their resources, you raped their women, you killed their men, you enslaved the people. How can you bypass all of that and say, this is my country, this is my land, nobody else has the right to come and take it? Now, explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me, Lucy. How in the world can you fix your lips to say that when you are the perfect example of somebody that came to a land that was not yours, exploited it, extorted it, did everything that you could to manipulate it, to take it away from its rightful owners, and then turn around and say, this is our land and nobody else has the right to come over here and take it over and replace us because it's ours. This is insanity. And that's why you don't want CRT, critical race theory. That's why you don't want 1619. That's why you don't want truth told about how you brutally and maliciously killed people and continue to kill people. And you want us to have this idea that you're doing this by manifest destiny. And this is what God wants you to do. And this is what God wants you to have. And everybody else, if you're black, get back. If you're white, you're right. No, ma'am. No, sir. We're not buying this anymore. And at the end of the day, this domestic terrorism against black people needs to stop. I said what I said. The domestic terrorism against black and brown bodies needs to stop. And we've got to call a spade a spade. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? I need you to be clear, crystal, on how this type of mentality is overtaking these young children. And again, I'm going to say it once more and again. Look at the age of Kyle Rittenhouse. Look at the age of the shooter on Sunday. Look at the age of the young man that shot up all those people in Charlotte. Look at all of these things. We're looking at kids who have been radicalized, kids that have had their minds, the impressionable minds, twisted, turned, and convoluted by this kind of teaching, by this kind of ideology. And they are not alone. They are not isolated. It's not a few one-offs. Baby, this is in full force and full swing. And that's why when you hear certain things being said, that's why when you hear certain concepts being taunted and thrown out here by your politicians, and understand the dog whistling that they're doing to this base that has all of this fear mongering, I want y'all to understand at the end of the today, we're dealing with a mindset, and I'm going to say it again, and I love you, King Coogee, you my guy, but don't come at me with any kind of fear-based nothing and try to sell it to me as it's good, because I don't receive it into my shondo. Fear is utilized for control. It is utilized for control. This is the Old Testament form of belief. This is a religion quiverful. It's mad because God knew we couldn't live by the Old Testament. These nasty people are brainwashing simpletons. And listen, there's still a whole lot of brainwashing going on today, black and white. So I agree. And listen, the Bible is being used very effectively. And in anybody that's using fear to get a so-called relationship, you are deceived. In my opinion, fear has torment. That's what the Bible said. And if we come to the idea that perfect love casts out fear, why are we teaching fear? Land that they took by any means necessary, they now sickly also think that they should protect by any means necessary. And again, Cassandra, how sick can you be? How sick can you be? How sick can you be? And quiverful, I want you to be familiar with it, because some of you today may have been the first time that you heard it, quiverful. But listen, understand, quiverful is out there in full swing. Understand the great replacement theory that they have come out and come up with and are indoctrinating their children with. And it's a fear-based, fear-mongering type of concept. And that dog whistle of fear always works. It always works. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Harder to be manipulated if you have the knowledge. Absolutely, KB Browns. If you have the knowledge, and listen, because there's a whole lot of stuff. I go to black folks, I go to black churches, and I sit there and I don't say nothing, but I'm not buying what y'all selling. That mess that y'all preaching from the pulpit is nothing but mess. Y'all ain't ready for me. It's mess. And black folks are eating it up hook, line, and sinker. And black folks are staying in bondage mentality that's about slavery and everything else. And you're throwing your purse, your weave, and everything else up there on the offering plate to pay for mess. I just can't take it. I just can't take it. I just can't take it. Lord Jesus, I just can't take it. So at the end of the day, I want us to come to a point where we understand what it is that we're dealing with. I want us to understand why are we dealing with it. I want us to understand, as Ben Crump said, this is a time where we've got to actually begin to formulate and formalize and come together and unify ourselves in a way and in a space and in a place so that we come on in here. JB Wright 77. I see you, sis. So much love coming to you. She is a streamer, y'all. Y'all show her some love. I thank you for coming in the room. Come put the baby, they put their weave in the offering plate. You hear what I said, KB Browns? They put the weave in the offering plate. Because some of that weave is worth $1,000, KB Brown. Some of that weave is worth $1,000. And they'll put it up there in the plate. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm sick of black folk being manipulated by everybody, including the church. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. I'm tired of black people being manipulated, dominated, and controlled by everybody, including the church. Hey, come on in here, Betty. I see you, Betty 527. Good to have you this morning. Especially the church, JB Wright, because some of us are preaching the same stuff that these white supremacists have been preaching it. And at the end of the day, it's off balance. It's wrong. No. Listen, can I get some help with that? No. And y'all eat that crap up hook, line, and sinker like somebody just gave you some fresh manna from heaven. And y'all sitting up here, that stuff y'all calling fresh manna from heaven is no more than this same stuff that they've been teaching and preaching down through the years, done put in you, and you go out and regurgitate and repeat the same stuff that they said. And at the end of the day, this is all it is. I said it. Yes, I said it. But spiritual thought leader, I thought you loved God and I thought you loved, I love all of that. But this stuff that y'all got going on in the church, baby, is just what you see up there on that screen. A whole lot of it is just what you see up there on that screen. And y'all eating this stuff up like y'all got fresh food, fresh manna from heaven. And baby, it ain't nothing but that brown stuff. And at the end of the day, this is what allows us to stay in a position where 1% can control and dominate 99%. Now, just basic math should tell me if you're only 1%, I don't understand why the 99 can't overcome 1%, because the 99 are being taught, the 99 are being indoctrinated, the 99 are being enslaved in their mentality so that they don't have the power, the wherewithal, nor the unification to get the 99 together and kick the 1% out. Y'all ain't ready for me. With love. Let me underscore, with love. I'm not advocating anything other than with love. But with love, I want black folk, and it's with love that I'm saying this. Y'all sitting under these bondage ministries teaching y'all all this stupidity and all of this fear mongering. Y'all need to wake up and smell the coffee. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. I need y'all to wake up and smell the coffee and come to another actualization and reality that says if we unify, if we come together, if we use our boss energy as one, the 99 of us can overcome this 1%. I'm just trying to say, help me, make it make sense. So that's why, Dr. Dady, I'm just trying to tell you, that's why even with that, I said at the end of the day, this is where people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What you don't know is killing you. What you don't know is holding you in bondage. What you don't know. And again, I'm going to say even to you all, even from the standpoint of you've been hearing all of this stuff out here in your churches and in the street, do some investigative work, do some research. Don't just say because they taught me from the pulpit, that's what it means. There's a whole lot of ignorance that's taught from the pulpit. There's a whole lot of error that's taught from the pulpit. Do your own research. Search it out for yourself. Don't take somebody else's word for it. Please, please, please don't take somebody else's word for it. Because they said this way back in the day, they say is often proved to be a great liar. I'm going to say it once more and again for the people in the back. They say is often proved to be a great liar. Get some facts under your belt for yourself and stop listening to what everybody told you. I don't care if it came from the pulpit. Now, at the end of the day, that's why I today wanted to take time and talk about domestic terrorism against black people. We are better together, MC Control. We are better together. And that's why I said, you know what? At this point, I felt compelled. Boss Energy, we're talking about it. Boss Energy is now converting to a level where we're saying, listen, we're going to come together and organize so that we can activate, educate, and unite. Activate, educate, and unite. Once more and again, activate, educate, and unite, because what we don't know and how we don't know how to operate, move, and deal with these situations is killing us literally. And I'm tired of coming around this mulberry bush time after time with just new names on it. Ooh, you were sitting on your porch Saturday. There's no more love. Come on, listen, this is time for us to make a move. It's time for us to make a move. I know that I got love. I know there's love in me. I know there's love in me. You come on, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's what the Bible said. I can quote it. But at the end of the day, I still need you all to have understanding. In all of thy getting, get an understanding. That's what I need you to get. Get an understanding. The 1% get over on us because we are not together, not even at 1%. And therein lies the problem. And I believe if we unite together, if we pull our ideas and our possibilities together, we can come up with some solutions. We can come up with our own solutions. We can come up with our own answers that work. We can do this if we unite together. If we actually come together and pull and resource our ideas, our possibilities, and all of the things that come into our creative minds, if we pull all this together with the power and understanding that 99% can overtake 1%, if we come in with that mindset and that unified effort and that unified energy with no fear, because listen, fear gonna shut you down. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Baby, you're not going to back me down with fear. And at the end of the day, the Lord came to me years ago and said, what could you do if you had no fear? I'm telling you, church has to be one of the most fear-mongering, fear-teaching spaces you can find in this world. And in all the places I've been, who do I find to be the most fearful when I travel from place to place? Church folk are the most fearful people I've ever met. And it's designed like that, babies, to hold you under control. At the end of the day, I'm going to go back to what the Spirit said to me. What could you do if you had no fear? The sky is not even the limit. The only thing that limits you is your mind. The sky is not the limit. The only thing that limits you is your mind. Is anybody listening to me? Well, saints, listen, I done brought us on up to the hour because we're going to go over because the Rebel Ink is coming on today. God is not the author of fear. Absolutely not the gift. No, ma'am, no, sir. While we're so quick to marry it and unite with it, perfect love casts out all. I want to put the underscore and the emphasis, the bold and the italics on all. Perfect love casts out all fear. And when I operate in fear, I've obviously moved outside of perfect love. Somebody don't want to hear that, but that's the truth anyway. When I move outside of perfect love, I've moved into a place of fear. And when I move into a place of fear, I've moved outside of a place of love. Well, God, come on, Shelly Thunder. God is not giving us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And that's all I got to say about that. And that's how we're going to close it down. When we understand the power that we have, and I want you all to, we've been saying this in Institute. When I look in the mirror, I see power because God has empowered you. You have boss energy. I'm not just talking about boss energy as some kind of fluffy concept out there in the fringes and on the peripheral. Oh, that sounds cute. No, I have boss energy. I have boss energy. I don't know about you, but I have boss energy. And my boss energy activates me to move and do things that at the end of the day, the people that know God are able to be strong and do exploits. The people that know, have intimacy with, have become one. The people that know God, those are the ones that are going to be strong and do exploits. Y'all know a whole lot of other stuff. Y'all know a whole lot of religion. Y'all know a whole lot of denominational teaching. Y'all know a whole lot of stuff. But a lot of y'all don't know God. In an intimate way. You understand the words? Some of you don't even realize the fact that God in you, the hope of glory. Y'all, all of this external outside of you, but God in you. And that's a whole nother talk for a whole nother day. But at the end of the day, listen, we got boss energy up in here. We've got boss energy up in here. And you better watch what God is going to do through a unified activation. Come on, activate, educate, and unity. Unify, unite. That's what we're talking about. Activate, educate, unite. Activate, educate, unite. Activate, educate, and unite. And at the end of the day, we'll take our ideas and our possibilities and we'll turn them into solutions for this world in which we live. We are the solution. We are the answer. And so there you have it, y'all. I love you so much. Come on, KB Browns. We got boss energy. I see you, SK8843, boss energy. Come on, Joanna. We got boss energy. Now let's bring it together. Let's unite our forces and let's make this thing happen. And this ain't for the fearful. And that's why I said, I wake up lions. I'm not talking to the sheep. There's plenty of sheep out there, and plenty shepherds for the sheep. But that's okay. And I don't denounce them. I don't deny them from being sheep and do what sheep do, but I'm talking to the lions. I'm called to wake up the lions, and we have no fear. Now, y'all, it's time for me to get out of here. I hope you all were able to receive really from the spirit of love that I'm giving it. Boss energy, Miss Lottie Dottie. I love you, sis. Boss energy. I hope that you can receive it from the spirit of love that I'm bringing it to you. Come on, DJ The Force. I love you, man. I love you. We're stronger together. We're stronger together, Joanna. And we got boss energy beauty for you. We got boss energy. And at the end of the day, we're coming together, and you're going to see a unification of people. We're going to see people coming together in such a powerful way like you've never seen before. And watch out, because we're going to make some things happen. It's happening. We're not the in crowd. We're the in crowd, because it's happening.
Oh, I feel for
Well, I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. This has been another edition of Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And I hope that you're able to receive the information that I brought you on today. I hope that go ahead and Google it, y'all. I just scraped the surface. Google the Great Replacement Theory. Google it, folks. Quiverful. Google it and be fully informed about the forces that are out there pulling and dealing with these young people's minds. Now, I want you to follow me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. And this is our mantra. We don't have fear up in here. We don't have intimidation. We are all powerful in love, because we understand we've not been given a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. At the end of the day, y'all, listen, we're not just talking about change, but I want you to be the change. And we're in this together. This pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless. And you're going to hear us roar. You're going to hear us talking more about boss energy, because boss energy is getting ready to rise up and do some things out here in this world. You better watch it. You better watch it. You better watch it. Boss energy is coming out. It's been birthed. It's been launched. Look out, because here we come. I want to appreciate everybody that's in here. And at the end of the day, copy that raid message, because we're going over to spend some time with my girl, the Rebel Inc. Please copy that raid message and ride over with us. I want to appreciate the lion support in the den of activity, not the den of iniquity, the den of activity. The Rebel Inc., Michelle Brownell and Shelly Thunder. I appreciate you. White Horse Theology, thank you for coming in, and thank you for following on today. MCP 812, Michelle Brownell, thank you for those re-ups. And again, the Bishop of Twitch, One Reason, thank you for that raid, and thank you for everybody that rode that raid train over. Now, copy that raid message, because we're going somewhere. We're doing something, and we are the people that are going to make that change. Come on now, come on. And as you journey on, I want you to have peace for your journey.
It's time to feel life is cheap. Everything's disposable, and so are we. Can you hear me? Life is real, yeah. And if there's a heaven above, please start showing a brother real love. 'Cause I wanna go home.